some more.
Yo, what's good, people? Izzy Max here, back again with our first round of playoffs. I am joined, of course, with Matt and Ryan. You guys go ahead and say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, guys?
So this week is a little weird. If you notice, this was a kind of a 2-week round one just because of the release of Crown Tundra. And then we had two coaches who just really couldn't catch up with their schedules and stuff. So they actually had to forfeit round one, which is kind of unfortunate. But we'll go ahead and jump into those two games first. Here, it was an open team sheet, so we do have the spreads. And this is going to be Hubbub Nublet against Tay Breezy. And looking at these sets, I think Tay was gonna have a real hard problem. She didn't, of course, bring her weather, but she did bring kind of the pseudo Trick Room with the Snorlax and Dragalge. But I feel like Cinderace and Durant kind of just ran through if Poltegeist wasn't able to get set up. That's my thoughts. Of course, this game didn't get played. I'll go ahead and hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, there was definitely... Tay would have had to play to a late game. It would have had to be a late game Poltegeist, and you would have to kind of like lead Toxtricity and hope that you can sort of overpower things at the beginning. But it was a tough matchup, and the prep was really good on her end. Not to say that Tay's was bad at all. I think these are really good sets overall. Outside of Protect on Assault Vest Cobal, I'm not 100% sure what's up with that.
Like I said, it was probably just a missight. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I think the prep here is really, really, really solid. It's just that the team, there was not a favorable matchup, and outside of Poltegeist, I don't 100% see how Tay Breezy really pulls that win like cleanly through. I think that he had to play to a late game that may not happen.
Yeah, and even with the other Mons that he left on the bench, I still don't really see... I think he brought the correct 6.
I'd agree.
Yeah. So, Matt, your thoughts?
I have a feeling that this game might have gone the same way that the last game did between these two. I'm not sure he really brought enough to deal with the Togetic. I think I said this the last time when we were reviewing their first match. I would have loved to see a taunt on Whimsicott, which again is not, we don't see that here. So I don't know, because I'm assuming the Togetic is bulky enough to live a hit from either Cobalion or maybe not Toxtricity since the Life Orb here, but
it was physically defensive.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure on the Toxtricity calc there then, but obviously Togetic is insanely bulky. Yeah, I sort of suspect it would go kind of sort of the same way it did last time, maybe.
Okay, yeah, like we said, this is going to be quick. We don't have any footage. So moving on to the next one, it is My Game versus C-Rad. You can see the sets here. I am just going to lead off by not really saying too much, but my lead every single game, at least for the first one, was always going to be Sableye Serena. Looking at what he has, he really kind of struggled with Quash, Fake Out, and Will-O-Wisp. And with the taunt, I can taunt the Slowking for Trick Room, even the Klefki. But Serena really had the coverage to kind of just deal with whatever he had. And on top of Quash, I know Serena's not the fastest, but Quash could really come in handy against the Haxorus and the Salazzle and just be able to kind of take control of the game. So that's kind of what I did. I love that I have safety goggles on the Prim, and I don't see Tangrowth.
Any reason.
Yeah.
Any reason. No, that seems like a good game plan. I never doubt C-Rad. This is an extremely sad game not to have had played, I think. Especially after such a strong season from C-Rad and yourself kind of doing that whole redemption arc thing. Really am a little disappointed that this did not get played. But I do think that there is definitely the potential for C-Rad to pull some upset win with this. However, you are right in that Serena looks really good here, and even just based off team sheet alone. So Again, I could see this going either way. I never discount C-Rad being able to pull a good win because he always does. But the first time you two played, the matchup did not go super well, and I think Sableye does kind of help put you a little bit further ahead than Klefki did him.
Yeah.
So.
Also, Colossal, surprisingly, because we didn't get team sheets until both of them were turned in, Colossal actually outsped Scarfed Haxorus by 1 because Dragon Dance really screwed me up in that first matchup.
Interesting. So, yeah.
I would like to point out that the Slow King does have Oblivious here, so you would probably it couldn't be taunted, so you probably would have to rely on Serena to take it out to prevent a Trick Room mode, which I don't know how much he really has to stop that, so you might still be safe even against that.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, yeah. I think your lead is good. There's not a whole lot he has to really stop it, especially if you're maxing the Serena. So I think I'd agree that the matchup is probably in your favor here.
Okay, and then moving on to the 2 games that were actually played. First off, we will talk about the sets, and then we'll kind of dive into the replay. I do have it sped up. So first off, Matt, this is your game. So we have Dark King versus Matt, the one and only coach that beat you in the regular season. And no spoilers if anybody hasn't watched it. Let's just talk about the sets first. Real quick, this is a good game. And with it being your only loss in the regular season, there was a lot of anticipation for this one. I really like the super offensive Milotic. Also, the Clefable struck me as kind of weird because the way you kind of almost won in the first meeting was the Duraludon, and Duraludon doesn't care about Clefable, so it was kind of weird seeing it. But after me watching the game and all, I was glad he brought it. Also, he did bring back the Scarf Dracozolt, and this is
which I think is a good play.
Yeah, this is an error from me. The Scizor is actually choice band. It's not Metal Coat.
Yeah, it's banded because it has a chance to OHKO some variants of Kiss.
Yeah. It is banded, not Metal Coat. Matt, you got the team sheets before you played. What was your kind of thoughts when you seen his team sheet?
I was actually kind of happy to see a more offensive Milotic. I didn't really expect it, but I think it was preferable to a bulkier set. Clefable I was pretty okay with. The Scarf Dracozolt, I ran Scarf Duraludon specifically for that. So I was pretty okay with seeing that. He had a Scarf Dracozolt last time. Incineroar, I definitely expected a close combat Incineroar, given that I have Tyranitar now. Did not expect Incineroar without a Dark move, though. The Scizor, actually, I think I under-prepped for that thing quite a bit, and the Choice Band threw me off a lot when I was, as I was doing some calcs with Choice Band Scizor after I got the team sheets. It was a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure how much I really had to deal with that. And then the Porygon, I felt like I could handle easily enough, especially given that it wasn't Life Orb. So, and I prepped pretty hard for it since it kind of screwed me last time. So.
Okay, and I do have some notes from him regarding what he thought when he seen team sheets. He said Chandelure was weird, but he didn't know how to handle it since he didn't have a dark move on his Incineroar. He prepped for Amoonguss. Chillinberry he thought would be on something else, but on the Amoonguss it made sense. He said his Porygon was actually a bait. And then he said Bright Powder was terrifying because you just never know. But one thing he did say, when he got your team sheet, he immediately realized that T-Tar was really your only Dynamax option. So he prepped for that while he was, getting a game plan going for a T-Tar late game. So that's kind of what his thoughts when he got the team sheets.
Yeah, and that's a fair analysis. I never intended to Dynamax anything except Tyranitar.
Yeah, which was like a good point for him that he was able to point that out. But let's go ahead and jump in the game, making sure you guys can still see this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just tell me when you guys want to stop. This is sped up, of course. And we do see this lead from Dark King, which I thought was kind of interesting. Because I think this is kind of how he led in the first meeting with you guys. But I really like your lead with the pressure from the Lipard. Why did you lead this? Basically all 3 games. This was the lead for all 3 games from both players.
Yeah, it just gave me, I felt it gave me the most amount of options, and it kept it kept Tyranitar a little bit safe as well. I definitely intended to lead this going into the set, and I had basically flowcharted every potential lead with the Lipard Lucario. I think I did deviate from that from my flowchart a little bit later, but we'll get to that when we get to the game 2 and 3.
Okay. Go ahead and just let it play out here.
So my initial plan was the Charm on Dracozolt and close combat on Incineroar. He ended up going with a more physically bulky Incineroar to survive the close combat from Lucario, which was I assume he calced for that anyway, which was really great prep on his part, I think.
Yeah, so I was actually running calcs after I seen this match, and if you were adamant, you killed him 100% of the time.
I couldn't risk getting consistently outsped by a Porygon Z, so I had to run Jolly.
Yeah. Okay, this play is not anything special. You're just kind of positioning yourself. His targeting was actually really, really good. I will give that to him. And the flamethrower wasn't really a read.
No, but it didn't have to be.
No, it really didn't.
Sometimes it's just good to make that nice, easy middle ground, you know?
Mm-hmm. This was actually the play that I think saved him the entire game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So this is a Scarf Dracozolt, and me and Ryan have just rammed him several times about maxing a Scarf Dracozolt. But here he realized that, holy crap, I can't kill a Moongus.
Yeah, so you set the electric terrain for yourself, which I thought was a great play.
So good. Like, he was really playing some of his top gameplay.
Yeah, I think this, more than anything, was the turning point of the match. I was not expecting a Dynamax here at all, but it turned out to be the right play for sure.
Yeah, and talking to him, he wasn't expecting to Dynamax the Dracozolt at all. So him being able to kind of just deviate from his plan and make really good plays just really shows how he has improved since the start of the season.
Absolutely.
And we see there that the Bolt Beak max does more than half to the T-Tar, so that is insane.
It was a crit.
Oh, it was a crit?
It was a crit.
Yeah.
I still think this game plays out the same way, though.
Yeah.
It was a bit unfortunate because that the crit sort of forced me to max guard on the last turn of Dynamax because I was in bullet punch range, I believe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I may have been able to get away with another max move on that last turn.
Could you one-shot the Scizor? I don't remember.
My T-Tar is at +1 here, so I believe so, yes.
Okay. Yeah, between these 3 matches, there was a fair bit of RNG, but honestly, there wasn't too terribly much. Like, in favor of equalness.
Yeah, I would agree. There wasn't any RNG that put a single match, I think, over the edge.
No.
Which is good.
No, there was
But you
RNG
want
on
that-
both sides.
You want that in a playoffs game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so there's that max guard. that
Yeah,
you
so at
were
this point,
talking about.
pretty much my only win con was max guard and crit close combat on Scizor. That was pretty much all I could do.
Right. This game's pretty much over. I can't fast forward because of the way I cut this video. Yeah, Banded Bullet Punch just kills T-Tar at this range.
Yeah. It would have killed me when I was maxed.
Oh,
well.
okay. Yeah, I
From
didn't
that
run
range.
that calc. So here's game 2. Again, same lead. Pretty much, I think we are clicking the same moves, just different targets. Yeah, so there's the fake out again into the Lipard, and I think he actually bolt beaked the Lipard as well just to get it off the field. That crit definitely didn't matter.
Yeah.
Close combat there, doing a fair bit. And you opted for the Duraludon now instead of the Amoonguss, which, of course.
Yeah, which ended up kind of saving me in this situation. But yeah, I really just wanted a close combat there in case he wanted to try to max the Dracozolt the same way he did the first game. Then he'd have to max something that's at considerably lower HP, and it'd still be in range of an attack from Duraludon, even if
Right.
if he maxed it.
Bad
you know?
Bolt Beak miss.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that Bolt Beak miss right there was really unfortunate because it would have killed your Lucario, and Incineroar would have still been around, so.
Yeah, I mean, you bolt beak enough with your hustle Dracozolt, it's gonna miss. at some point.
Yeah,
you played that consequence. You know.
yeah, for sure.
You know the consequence. I am surprised you didn't just Draco down or Dragon Pulse down the Dracozolt though.
Well, I think
Yeah,
knowing that he was
Because you knew it was
scarfed.
scarfed by that point.
Yeah.
But he didn't really have a good switch in, and if he switched in Clefable, you're still in good shape, you know?
Yeah, honestly, I sort of expected him to switch it out there, but
And then this Max Quake, good lord.
Boop.
yeah, there's no way it's living that.
Yeah, no. And the focus sash is still intact. I think that is honestly the saving grace of this game, was your focus sash was still intact.
Yeah, and thank God Lucario is a steel type and it doesn't get broken by sand. That's
Yeah,
the main reason I wanted it.
If it hadn't been Stash, hear me out. If Bolt Beak had hit, then the real big brain play was to max Hailstorm into the T-Tar. And then kill the Lucario off the chip damage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he knew he didn't want to activate the weakness policy.
Yeah.
But at this point, he knew he was kind of screwed.
I was actually kind of surprised to see him not go for a Bullet Punch here, because Max Geyser Bullet Punch actually has a chance to kill the Tyranitar.
So I actually asked him the same thing, and he said that he thought you were gonna protect to get more chip onto the Milotic. So he actually went for dual Wing Beat into the Lucario.
To kill it through Sash. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, okay.
Because he knew if you didn't target the Milotic could 1v1 you. So he really needed to get the Lucario out of the way. But
That's
yeah.
a good play. I like that a lot.
Yeah, he just really tried calling the Protect on the T-Tar and tried playing it safe with attacking with the Milotic as well, just in case. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Lucario is doing enough on its own if it's the only one attacking there.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, that was a 50-50 call, and I think that he just made the wrong one.
Well, he also knew coaching went through Protect, so he also thought, hey, that is also a play he could do.
True. Yeah, very good plays.
Yeah. So, yeah, solid game 2. And again, this one I actually want to preface, his targeting changed, and it was really weird, but I think it really worked out. Because if you looked from your end, Matt, you were clicking prankster moves for the first two games.
Yeah.
This time you didn't, and I think he called you out on it since he faked out every single time into that slot.
Yeah, that was definitely a big mistake on my part. I think it was looking back, it's. I mean, I know what I was trying to go for since I knew that the close combat wasn't going to one-shot Cineroar. I was just trying to kill it on the first turn, and if I had if I had gone for the safe charm onto Dracozolt, this may have played out very different.
Yeah, no, it was a risky play from his end that ended up really, really favoring him. It was a really good play.
Yeah, I think the call he made on turn 1 and the adjustment here that we're about to see.
Yeah, this was an insane double. It was really, really good.
Just
nice.
bringing Clefable here, combined with that turn 1 play, I think was really what gave him this game.
Yeah, so he was talking to me. He said he knew that he needed to keep Incineroar alive for the Intimidate drops on T-Tar.
Which is honestly true.
Yeah,
honestly, like, this is some top level play for a playoffs. Like, this is the kind of thing you want to see.
Which makes me mad I didn't play my game.
Yeah, because I'm sure that would have had a lot of top play too. But this is both playoffs matches are definitely hands down some of the best play that the league has had.
I like that he didn't actually go for the follow me.
Absolutely, yeah, that was the correct play from him.
Yeah, it actually, when I watched it, I was like, oh, he's just going to follow me here. Like, it's a kind of a bad play, but, like, I expected it. No, he actually called it very much so the correct way. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. This is definitely the most clutch T-Tar performance I have almost ever seen. So he switches out the Clefable here, which I thought was a good play, knowing that he might need it in the back to kind of get some of the...
the follow me.
Yeah.
And get the Intimidate off on the T-Tar, because Incineroar is not doing anything else for the rest of the set, really.
I think in his position, I get why you might want to switch in T-Tar, but I think the follow me there it kind of guarantees you the game, because then the Clefable just goes down, T-Tar is at half HP, and then you have Milotic and Incineroar both on the field, and I can only target one thing, and you just max guys or close combat. I think that just guarantees you the game.
So I was talking to him as
on
well.
The set on if close combat kills.
It 100% does.
Yeah.
I was talking to him. He said it was more of just the safest play he's seen, just because he knew he might have to rely on Bolt Beak in the late game, or to rely on Hustle. So he figured if he was able to keep the follow me in the back, he would have more opportunities to hit the Bolt Beak. Also, being able to use close combat. This right here, this honestly put you back in the game, which was terrifying.
Yeah, it did. Gave me a shot anyway. I think
that's the correct play, but it's insane that even worked out, because now you can Rock Slide.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I think I may have had a better shot if I had Rockfall to Milotic instead of going for a Max Lightning just for the Sandstorm chip. Although I was at +1, but I'm not sure on his EV spread, so I'm not exactly sure how much damage it would have done. But I think looking back, that's something I would have done different.
The miss there on the Dracozolt is kind of unfortunate, but seeing how much damage it does at neutral, I don't really think it mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't 2-hit KO.
Yeah, that was a +1 Rock Slide, and the next one is neutral. But I think it probably wouldn't have mattered. I think if I had gone for the Rockfall and there was Sandstorm chip on it, I think that miss would have mattered.
Yeah. But I mean, you're still talking winning the game off of a double max guard, so...
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that protect
though,
there, yeah.
I have to compliment you, though, on that end game, because, I mean, your back was against a wall, and you almost pulled, like, a classic, like, I'm Wolf Glick, and I'm the main character kind of win.
Live on the Charty? No, okay, no.
I think
he said he was at, like, a 10 HP Charty Berry proc. But no, here's the final Bullbeak. Actually does end up hitting, which is honestly good on Dark
Expected.
King.
Yeah.
Go ahead and fast forward enough to where we're in the second game. Okay.
So,
Real quick, let's go over the sets for the second match we've seen. Overall, solid prep from both guys.
yeah.
There's really
absolutely.
not... Like, I can't say, oh, Lapras just goes in. Oh, Hawlucha just goes in. Oh, there's not... Both teams, I think, prepped correctly. There's no big gaping hole for either
Nope.
team.
And honestly, that's what we've seen from both of them over the course of the entirety of their seasons.
Yeah.
Neither of these players have any issues with prep.
No,
And they were both afraid of the right things. I had DMs from them both. Brock realized that the potential for Justified Arcanine to sweep his team was very real, and the Choice Scarf Gallade Justified definitely spooked him a bit. And I remember after sending the spreads, the first thing John Boy sent me was, Luch is a threat. And I was like, yeah, Lucha kind of looked real good here too. So no, I think this is some really good stuff. Definitely looking at the sets, I agree. I asked about,
Skills
I remember asking Brock about Mudsdale, and he basically told me that even burned, Mudsdale still 1v1'd a lot of the mons that he was expecting, which it actually does.
That's crazy.
So I really like both the prep from both of them. I think was really, really solid here.
Yeah. Any prep analysis, Matt?
Mostly I'm just surprised not to see John Boy bringing out the sand mode, since he just picked up that Excadrill.
Yeah.
I get that it's a little bit awkward against the Lapras, but I don't know. I might have gone for like a weakness policy Excadrill, considering that Lapras is not the strongest Pokemon in the world.
Right.
But the
This is
Hawlucha also kind of throws a wrench in that as well.
Lucha throws the wrench in that, and I think that's Lucha had specific calcs for that lead. He had specific things for the sand counter, because Rillaboom Lucha kind of just beat the sand mode like by itself. Is Brock did all the calcs and kind of showed me, and it worked out in his favor really nicely.
That's fair.
He could basically turn one fake out Gigalith so it didn't explode on him, and then he actually would just close combat with the Lucha and Excadrill, and then he would G-Max the Rillaboom, and then Rillaboom killed everything else from there.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this so we're not wasting any more time. He
Yeah.
ended up clicking record
Couple turns late.
couple turns late, so we're just gonna kind of start, I think, from like turn 3. But honestly, we didn't miss much. So I have only watched this once. It looks like he hit a sleep powder from the Roserade onto the Lapras.
Yep.
Ryan, I'll kind of let you take the lead on this one because you had some good stuff to say before we started recording.
Yeah, so one of the ideas that Brock had that I really like, which he didn't seem to do this game one, but he told me about, was that Rillaboom and Lapras, in his opinion, were his two big threats. So he was basically prepared to Dynamax either at any given moment. In this case, the Sparkling Aria is really cool because it actually heals the burn from the Rillaboom. And that was very intentional, which lets him knock off and kill the Dusclops. So the Will-O-Wisp...
Do we have any idea why the Lapras is faster than the Persian here?
I
At this
think it was
moment-
max turns.
Yeah, it was max turns off Lucha, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think once he gets it to a certain speed tier.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of what I am guessing.
So Arcanine comes out here, definitely a big threat. Goes for the Aria, does not kill the Persian. I definitely think that gliding into Persian plus Aria might have been the play here.
Oh, agreed.
Because I feel like that would have clinched a game one potentially.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But it was kind of, I guess, risky
Yeah,
because he knew he needed
And-
to get the Arcanine off the field.
yeah. And because of Barry, Arcanine's not in range of another Glide.
No.
Lucha comes in here.
Yeah, and seeing that Lucha didn't actually proc its berry, or the seeds, I think that's what happened in the first couple turns.
Yeah.
Well, we also have electric terrain up right now.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Well, never mind then.
So, yeah, this is an extremely bulky Arcanine too.
Yeah, the charm really, really looks really good here.
Oh, we
Yeah.
actually saw Aurora Veil just wear off.
Yeah, so
the-
Lapras was the max.
So
game one.
Lapras was the max. Why was it so fast?
yeah, that's Huh.
Speedy Lapras actually has some nice advantages here. I actually have the EV calcs. I can pull them up.
I was about
real
to say,
quick.
but it's like base 60. I don't think it ever outruns a base 109 Persian or 112, whatever it is.
115, I believe. But yeah, it's Lapras is not gonna outspeed that. Something else happened.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure this the Persian is a max HP max defense.
I don't think it still doesn't outspeed a base whatever it was.
Maybe the Lapras was speed creeping something. I don't know.
I don't know. Weird. Anyway, John won game 1, so here is game 2. Actually, the Sludge Bomb here was a really good play. It was just kind of free, and it ended up just taking the Comfey.
Yeah.
Once I seen that, I of course knew that this game went to 3, but once I seen that, I was like, wow, I don't know how he loses. But Brock really played well.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially going into this game too. But I do really like that play from John turn 1. Short of a Hawlucha Dynamax, there's really nothing that you lose there.
That was really, really risky.
Oh, it was a risky play.
Holy
but he had
cow.
to make it.
Yeah.
He had to make it.
Because, does Hawlucha live a hit from Roserade? Probably.
It lives 1.
But still, that was an insane play. And of course, the knockoff was a really good read as well. Any damage on Dusclops is good damage.
Is good damage. That's the Lord's truth right there.
So seeing he's already down 2-4, this is really insane that he was able to claw this one back.
He does clearly have the stronger Dynamax option here, though, given that he just went for his sword stance. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plus
the
2
SD.
Hawlucha.
SD Hawlucha is an absolute unit of a threat if you can get it going, which he managed to do.
And calling the ally switch too is insane. So that's another thing about this playoff format. When you get the team sheets, you will see that it does have ally switch, which throws another wrench in it. You got to be like, well, when is he going to do it? But yeah, and it was honestly kind of free because he is going for 2 super effective hits. But I don't know if Lapras actually would have KO'd the Roserade at full.
Roserade does not have the best defenses, but
Its special defense is not
possible.
bad.
Its
but
special
It's-
defense is big.
Yeah,
And
but its
Lapras doesn't
HP
hit the
is,
most. Yeah.
Its HP is kind of trash, and this is, I think, a slightly more offensive Lapras.
So I think this is where the targeting issues kind of hit Johnny a little bit. So that crit, definitely unfortunate. Yeah.
Didn't matter though in the end.
No, but the Sparkling Aria is now putting the
Lucha in range.
Yeah, now here, I think this is where Matt was talking before we started recording about the fake out probably being enough to kill the Hawlucha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's possible he thought that the Hawlucha would have survived because it is, it's Dynamax, it's +1 defense. I still think it would kill. But I also wonder, I think a lot of people just have this natural aversion to faking out a Dynamax Pokemon, so I'm wondering if it's something that he actually considered.
So my thing here was knowing that Hawlucha actually can't kill both Pokemon, I would have been killing the Lapras. That is where I think he made a targeting mistake.
Yeah.
Because you've seen Swords Dance, you've seen Protect, you've seen Airstream. He's probably not carrying Rock Slide. So there's no way for Hawlucha to target both Mons. And that's where I think he made a targeting mistake. But again, that's just my play style, so I couldn't tell you. But instead here he ends up killing the Hawlucha. And then after the one Airstream, Lapras is actually faster and can start going for those sparkling Arias.
Yeah, it is faster than, which is actually one thing I'd really like to compliment Brock on, is that he realized that Lapras would be faster.
Yes.
And realized that the Airstream was absolutely always the play there, because it always put him in range, that's so big brain. And at this point, you actually see this endgame a couple times.
Yeah, I am going to fast forward this. We're just going for 1 HP beat-ups. Like, no thank you.
So.
Okay, here we go into Game 3. Changing up
Game 3 is my favorite of the games, by the way.
Changing it up here with the Rabombi.
Yeah.
Which is...
I think the Dynamax Rabombi here might have been one of his bigger mistakes, especially given that it's not boosted or anything. I think it might be worth it to Dynamax if he got a Quiver Dance up first, but I'm not sure how much mileage he really got from it here.
Yeah, because that was okay. And the Resonance was going into the Rabombi, which I think is a good play.
With this game, I think we saw that neither of them really got a ton of mileage out of their Dynamax in general. You know, neither the Lapras nor the Rabombi is like scoring big KOs one after the other the way that you typically want from a Dynamax Pokemon.
This could have potentially been a really good switch if he hadn't called the start, gone for the Starfall. Because if he had actually gone for the Max Bug, then Lucha actually kind of went in here a little bit.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice play. But I think that I think Brock actually gets a little bit more out of his Dynamax here, simply because the Aurora Veil lasts past his Dynamax turns.
Yeah.
Rabombi did get that KO, and that was a really good play. It was a great KO.
Brock actually plays around his Dynamax, I think, really nicely throughout this entire set. There's a Will-O-Wisp here. Honestly, the thing is, if it had landed that Will-O-Wisp, the first one that it missed earlier, the dynamic would have changed, but the burn still wouldn't have been... I don't think Brock would have ever changed his turn, though. Because he still Grassy Glides Rabombi and kills it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So, and he's going to Sparkling Aria here again to heal the burn anyway. The only thing is that does open up Dusclops for like a Nightshade into the Rillaboom or the Lapras, but I don't really think that would have made a huge difference.
No. One thing I do want to point out here is going into all of these late game situations, Brock is always down so many Pokemon. And I think that just attests to the way Brock plays, always playing to the late game.
Yeah, he always has a good late game. And he plays this end game like super, super clean, I think. And I actually think that Brock, he didn't have Lapras all season, but he's playing with the Aurora Veil very nicely. Like, he did his calcs on knowing what he could get away with.
There, I think it was another targeting mistake. I think I always hit the Rillaboom with the Rabombi.
I don't know, because Lapras can Sparkling Aria out his endgame pretty easily.
Right, but I mean, you at least guarantee you take one of the Mons off the field.
I don't really think that was the error, per se.
I don't know, because now he has a healthy Rillaboom.
I think I think his targeting makes sense considering that he had
Arc in the back.
Arcanine in the back. So
Yeah. I actually like the use of Screech here.
it's a risky decision, but yeah, it's when it works, it works.
And that, what you guys just said is why I think targeting the Lapras, targeting the Lapras with the Rabombi was a mistake. Because
Yeah,
here, this hit,
potentially.
because this hit right here, this knockoff would never exist. So yeah, Arcanine gets the justified boost, but it would still have its Aguav and be at full HP.
Given that he had Mudsdale in the back, though, I'm not sure if it would have really mattered.
Yeah, because Mudsdale just ends up completely, like, it's kind of untouchable here. Like, you can charm it all you want, but it's not.
I mean, fair, yeah.
Rock Slide picks up the KO.
And yeah, we're in a beat up situation again. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, no, it goes on for a long time, but the moral of the story though is that yes, you can lower the defense with Screech, but then stamina activates. So
yeah. So yeah, those were the games though. Those were very well played games.
Excellent sets.
Yeah. Any last minute thoughts before we kind of dive into our, I guess, analysis of what's coming next?
Sure. Real quick, I just want to say to all 4 players that played games this week, those were the kind of sets that you'd expect to see at like a finals, like of a real tournament. Like seriously, like they were that cleanly played.
Sure.
Yeah, there may or may not have been some mistargeting, that kind of thing, but a lot of that is retrospective.
Yeah.
And you have to remember too that like in the it's hard to see the end game in game. You know,
for sure.
And I definitely, though, would like to pay huge compliments, especially to the people who ended up winning their games, both Brock and Dark King, especially because their seasons were a bit more tumultuous compared to John Boy and Matt's, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And they managed to pull very, very, very good wins out of a very, very challenging set. And it's going to be a very, very, very cool semifinals on that side of the bracket.
Matt, anything from you?
I think I'd just like to extend one final GG to Dark King. He prepped well, he played well. It was a well-deserved win. I'm gonna be watching to see how he does going into the semifinals, and I'm coming for him next season.
Giving you your only 2 losses. That's crazy.
Indeed.
Okay, so going into round 2. The first matchup is me and Hub. I'll let you guys go ahead and talk about that since I am one of the contestants.
Yeah, that'll just be a match. We'll see how it goes. You did lose your first match against Hub.
It was literally the last week, yeah.
Yeah, however, there have been some changes to both teams that I think do actually play in here a little bit. So yeah, we'll just kind of see. I'm excited to see the set, but I'm not gonna like really say one way or the other what I think of that one, because I honestly, that one's a little ambiguous to me.
I mean, it ended in a 0-0 loss for me. So like,
yeah,
how much closer can you get?
Exactly. And then Brock and Dark King, like I already said, that's my most anticipated game of like probably the whole season. Not gonna lie. So like I'll probably end up anticipating that game more than finals. I'm not even.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really, really good game.
So,
Matt, your thoughts on those 2 games?
I'm just really excited to see both of them. I genuinely have no idea how either of them is going to play out.
Yeah.
I will preface this before we kind of leave here for the day. Me and Hub's game is going to have to be played on a showdown, which kind of sucks, but we are, of course, a couple living in the same house with only one Switch.
Yep. Showdown it is.
Showdown it is. It sucks, but that's how it's going to have to go.
Yep. 4 remaining people, make sure you send me your team sheets once you have them. I will be dispersing those again like last time. Same procedure as last time too.
Yep. Closing remarks, and we'll go ahead and get out of here. Again, GG to everybody who actually played their games. And I really look forward to the next round. I think the intensity is just going to be cranked up to 10 again.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.